Hey guys, what's up? Zombie here. Welcome to episode 5 of Evilzombies Lair. You can listen to this on either iTunes, Google Play, or on SoundCloud, or you can be watching it on YouTube. Either way, I'm going to go over all the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. First, we're going to go over some personal stuff. Next, we're going to go over movies, TV news, new things that are happening in and out with me. After that, I have an anime recommendation for you. Then next, some tech news, new releases, things like that. A little update on when Steam sales are going to be happening, according to various sources, and also how to get started on getting a nice sounding YouTube setup, not just to get you by YouTube setup. A very good setup that will look and sound pretty professional, that is pretty close to what I actually use now. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay guys, so personal updates, basically what I've been up to a lot recently. I've just been, big part I've been going through the gym a lot. I've been working out a lot, trying to lose as much weight as I can. Since March, I've lost 31 pounds, and it's, October now? So that's not too bad. I'm going to try and lose another 20 pounds. That's my goal. I want to get below 200 pounds. That's my goal. Right now I'm at like 222 point something, and it's not bad. I mean, I've made some good progress. I'm actually lifting as much as I was, if not more than I was when I was 30 pounds heavier, which is a big goal for me because I lost weight, then I maintained weight while I built up muscle and continued trying to burn fat, and I lost more weight. But all my lifts are actually the same or increased. So that was a big goal. If any of you need help on trying to do that, let me know, because I'm very happy to help you, and I think I found a pretty good system that works. A big part of it due to intermittent fasting, because I don't eat anything after dinner, and I don't eat breakfast. I just wait till lunch. That seems to work pretty well for me. I mean, so far it's had good results. I'll share with you the diet plans and all that. If you really want to know anything, just let me know. And another thing I've been working on the side, I'm actually going to be I'm not going to stop releasing this, but I'm also going to release possibly 5 episodes of just a podcast, not the video component, just a podcast on how to deal with depression, how to get past it, because I'm a person who has dealt with depression for years. I've gone through it, I've survived a suicide attempt, and I've gone through some dark times, and I want to share some info with you guys on how to properly deal with that, how to put those feelings aside, how to overcome that feeling, if you will. So that will be something that you can look up to. I'm preparing it. I want to do my research. I want to make sure I can help people the best I can. So I'm just going to do a 5-part series on it, and they're probably going to be about 10 to 15 minutes, just something to help pick you up if you go through that. So keep your ears open for that, I guess, because you're not going to be able to watch it. I'm only going to put that on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, all that. So you can listen to that in the car or something like that on the way to work. Okay, switching topics. Multimedia news for the day. Walking Dead is back. Finally. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, so don't click out now. No spoilers. Just know that it's good. It's fun. Your mind will be blown. You'll be on the edge of your seat. You'll be like, what's happening? What's going to happen next? You won't know what's going to happen next. It's awesome. It's very exciting. I'm really happy to see everyone back, to see all the new exciting adventures that are going to happen in this season, because they've been hyping it up quite a bit. And it's living up to the hype in the first episode. So I'm excited to see what happens next on this coming Sunday as well. You're watching this on Friday, so yeah. And you might notice I'm in a different area. If you're listening, it sounds different because I'm on the phone microphone. I'm not in my normal microphone setup. This is because my sister's getting married. If you're watching this on Friday, she's getting married tomorrow, and I don't have access to the office right now, because to keep them separated, he's staying in my office right now in the meantime. So while he's staying in there, I'm just going to record this on the phone. Makes things a little bit easier, but the show must go on, so I will keep on recording. I'm not going to stop recording. I'm just not going to be able to do it in the office until next week. So next week you'll hear the good quality audio. You'll hear all of that with the audio interface and everything hooked up correctly through that. But for this week, you're just going to hear it like this, or see it like this, so you can see where I have to do it during my lunch breaks. But it's not too big of an issue. I'm just recording during lunch break, and that's about enough time. I have about an hour lunch break because the times I work from until. My boss is pretty lenient on that, which is pretty cool. It's awesome. Okay, guys, so the next part of multimedia news, Godzilla and Pacific Rim have been rumored to get a crossover. Like, some of the people working on the film, or working on the new Pacific Rim film, have teased that Godzilla might be able to get a crossover with Pacific Rim, and it would make sense. Mostly because it's the same company, it's Legendary Pictures, and it's giant monsters and giant robots. What's not to love here, you know? I would love to see that. That's something I would absolutely adore to see. So Godzilla and Pacific Rim crossover, I would pay to see that, of course, hands down. Now, if they did American Godzilla, the new American Godzilla versus Shin Godzilla, I'd go see that too. That'd be pretty nice, but I know it won't happen. I can dream though. Okay, guys, anime recommendations for this week: Ghost Hunt. Think of a murder mystery kind of anime, kind of like Case Closed or something like that, but a little more grown up, where they're trying to find out how various murders or events are happening. And they all seem to have paranormal connections to them, and a lot of scary things happen in the meantime. Like, they'll have a killer doll arc, or they'll have the haunted house arc, things like that, and it's really cool. And they have, like, a cursed shrine arc, and it's a very good series. It's, what was it, 12 episodes? I think it was 12, no, I think it was 12. It was either 12 or 24. Another way, you can probably sit and watch it in one day if you really binge watch. I've done that. And it's a fun series. I enjoyed it. I've gone through it a couple times, and they do check their history. Like, something related to Elizabeth Bathory, then they go through and check that, and even if they don't use that person, they still do enough references where it's close enough where you know that's who they're referencing, like, for sure. And if you do want to see what other anime I have seen in the past, if you want to see the list, I do have my anime list. The username is evilzombie123. Okay, guys, so moving on to tech news. Okay, so G-Skill is releasing new RAM soon. It's DDR4 RAM, and it's from 3200 megahertz to 3800 megahertz. And that's pretty cool, because that's pretty freaking fast. It's almost 4,000 megahertz, or 4 gigahertz. It's almost that speed. We're getting really close. I mean, that's just blazingly fast. I bet you can overclock it and boost right past that, no problem. That is something I'm very excited for. Sorry, I just had to take a deep breath because I'm talking about tech. But that's something very exciting, and I like more speed on my RAM. I overclock my RAM. I'm using DDR3 RAM right now on my desktop computer. I'm overclocking it to about 2,000 megahertz, between 1,800 and 2,000. That's normally where I like to keep it. But it's going to be nice to be able to upgrade eventually to DDR4 or hopefully DDR5 if I ever get money. That'll be the time to upgrade, because everyone's saying it's so many times faster than DDR4 that it's going to be worth the upgrade. Yeah, I didn't think it was that much worth it for DDR4 because it's a marginal increase, but it's not so much where I go, holy crap, that's fast. DDR5, they're saying it's that fast, so it might be worth waiting for that. Okay, guys, moving on to Steam sales release dates. This is something that I've been excited about because holiday sales for Steam breaks everybody's wallets, but you get games for such a good price. The summer sales, of course, are already over because it's October now, but I have heard, if you're listening to this on Friday, then hopefully the Halloween sales have started, because I was reading that October 26th through November 1st should be the Halloween sale. Then the Black Friday sale should be November 22 to 28. And then the winter sale for Christmas time should be December 21 to January 4. So make sure you at least have some money in your account for those times, because those games on your wish list might be a very good price at those times. And that makes sense because that's about when they happen every year. So I'm pretty sure the source was accurate. Keep your ears open. If you hear anything else, let me know. I'm more than happy to update that. Just let you guys know so that you can get good deals, because I like bargains. Okay, guys, moving on to the main topic. Well, I'm going to grab some water real quick. Okay, so main topic is how to start a YouTube channel or a podcast with good sounding equipment, professional sounding equipment for under $200. Now, I don't want to go with the whole under $100 thing because it's not going to happen. You'll get pretty good sounding stuff, but it won't sound great. You won't get great until you at least spend $200. And I'll tell you why. Because you need programs and you need hardware. You don't just use hardware only, unless you're doing, well, no. You still need programs no matter what you do, because you need something to edit with. Yeah, even with just audio. But if you're doing video, you definitely need some kind of program. So first off, we're going to start with Video Meld. This is a program that I would highly suggest for editing videos. And there's several different options. It's about $50 for just a lifetime license, or you can do $15 per year, which is a great price, and you won't find that anywhere else for a program that can do what this program does. And I can guarantee you this. $15 per year is actually pretty good. It does video overlays, it does multiple tracks, and it's an excellent program for starting out with. That's what I started with, and it was great. I can highly recommend it because it works really well. It gives you great file sizes when you output without losing too much quality. It's a good program. Go check it out. It's called Video Meld. I'll include a link in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. I think I can do that on the other ones as well. So, yeah, I'll include a link in the description below so you can check it out if you like. That's what I have used personally in the past. Now I'm using Sony Vegas 14, but yeah, now that was one I used before. Next program for audio editing, Audacity. Now, I would highly recommend Audacity to anybody because first, it's free. Second, it has great noise removal tools. Third, it has easy to use equalizing tools with presets and savable presets. And if you go to the Wikipedia for it, you can download a whole bunch of different presets for microphones of the past that you want it to sound like. And it works great. I can even teach you how to do that if you want. Just let me know and I'll do a video on it. So if you're interested in knowing how to do equalization in Audacity. Fourth, it does multiple tracks. You can layer tracks, you can split them, you can speed it up, slow down. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff in it if you get really in depth, and it's wonderful. And then number 5, it's free. I know I said that for number 1, but it's free. It's freaking free, guys. Come on. I mean, you can't beat that price. Really. You can donate probably if you want, because I'm sure they would be happy to take your money, but you don't need to pay anything. Okay. Now, the next program is for capturing, is for recording, but you don't, and if you're doing games, it's really good for that. But if you're only doing audio or video for podcast, it's also really good for that, and I would highly suggest it above Windows Camera or whatever other software you're using, like UCam or something. Bandicam. Now, I love Bandicam. I use Bandicam. There's XSplit and Bandicam are the two big ones if you're doing games. XSplit is mostly just for games. But Bandicam, I would not suggest Windows Camera. I would suggest Bandicam because it's only $39 for just the license for it, for the lifetime license. You own it, so $39. That's relatively cheap, especially for a really high quality program that destroys fraps. I tell you. It has a game capture mode where any game window, it just records that whole window, and you can set up an overlay wherever you like of your video. It does a window capture mode where you can create whatever size window you want and put it over an area of your screen. So good for screen captures, tutorials, things like that. And it can also do device capture. So if you have a capture card connected to your computer, or if you just have a webcam, you can choose that as the device it captures, and then it only records that full screen. And then the big thing that I love about this program is you can choose to separate the audio files. You can have where it doesn't give you a WAV file at all, it just puts it all in the video. You can have where it gives you a separate WAV file where both the sounds are mixed into it, which I don't suggest. Or you can do two separate WAV files where you have the system sound and you have the microphone sound. And then you can edit them freely, and then when you drag it into your editor, it copies both of those in, so you can do your editing on the WAV files separately. And that's what I use most of the time, because I can edit my audio, then bring it into my video editor after. And I love that. It's a great feature. You can do your levels, you can do your equalization. It's a very good program, very friendly with this. I love it. And then that brings us to XSplit, the next one. If you're doing a gaming channel and you don't want to spend the money on pretty much anything, you don't want to spend the money on a video editor, and you just don't want to be bothered with it, and you're only doing games, then I would suggest XSplit, because there is a free version that records in 720p. It's very easy to set up. and you can it's kind of an all-in-one kind of thing. So you can balance your audio levels on the sidebar on the setup, where you have your system sound all the way down and your microphone sound all the way up, which is what I would recommend so they can actually hear you. And then you choose where you want your overlay on the screen, and you can set it up where it does a record button, and it's all in one. You don't get your separate WAV files though. You don't get as much control over everything. It's a little bit lower quality than what you would get with Bandicam. But there is a pay version if you really want to do that later that gives you 1080p and full control over everything. It's wonderful. That'll give you frame rate control and all of that. But you'll be doing 720p at 30 frames per second if you do free, which is pretty acceptable, especially if you're just starting out and don't have any money. Okay guys, I had to take a breath. Okay, moving on to the next part, hardware. Now, if you're doing a YouTube, or if you're doing a video podcast, the biggest thing you need is a webcam, or a camera of some sort. Right now I'm just using my phone camera. As you might be able to tell, it's leaned up against a monitor. But a camera for your computer will be the biggest thing. You can use your phone camera, it's perfectly fine, but if you want to do anything like games also, then it's easier just to have a webcam somewhere to use with these programs, because it just makes things easier. But I would highly suggest the Logitech C920. Now it's about $50, $55, which is pretty good for a 1080p at 30 frames per second webcam. And it can also do 720p, so if you're doing games, 720p at 60 frames a second, shrunk down in the corner, because 720p is fine if it's going to shrink anyways. And that can be a solid 60 frames a second, very good quality picture, good lighting effect, it does good light balancing, and it has a really good autofocus. This is why I really suggest it, because it doesn't just continually focus, or get blurry. It focuses on, it finds whatever face you have in the picture. If you have posters that have faces, it might focus on those. But if it focuses on your face and then mostly it just clears up that, and then the rest is slightly blurred a little bit. But it's going to be pretty sharp for everything. It's a good quality camera. It has great frame rates. I've used it for a good amount of time. I've probably been using that for over a year now. All my videos are done with that camera, except for right now because I'm not in the office. And that's what I would suggest for the camera. So moving on, audio interface. Now personally, I'm using the Behringer UMC 202 HD, but that one's about $60, and I was trying to keep this video to tell you how to do it for a lower budget. So I would suggest the Behringer UMC 22. A lot of people say, no, go for the Focusrite Solo or Scarlett Solo. That's $100, and this is about the same quality. Seriously, this is about the same quality. These have the new pickups in them. These use Midas pickups. It's mostly a metal build quality. On the 22, there's parts of it that are plastic, but on the UMC 202 HD, that one's an all-metal construction and feels very sturdy. This one does feel really good, though. It feels pretty sturdy, pretty good quality. Has Midas preamps, so it sounds really clear up until you get to about 75%. Then you get the line buzz introduced in. But you can play around with that, and it still sounds really nice. You can do zero latency monitoring, which is something that's a big plus. Of course, you want that in any kind of interface you get, and it's only $40, as opposed to spending $100 for the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. But for $40, you can't beat it. It's wonderful. It's a great price for it. So I'd highly suggest that, guys. Go get that. Next up, and then it also does phantom power. It supplies right about 48 volts of phantom power. It really reaches about 46 point something, I think, but it's close enough where it can run almost all condenser mics, and probably ribbon mics and all that. Well, I think it's just condensers that need it. So it runs all condenser mics. It's wonderful. Go check it out, because that one is the one I would highly recommend for an audio interface because of the Midas pickups. Those are great pickups, and you won't regret it. Okay, guys, moving on to the next part, microphone. Now, personally, what I am using, and what comes with a great package deal on Amazon, for like $30, you can get the newer NW700 in a pack that comes with the scissor arm, the boom arm, and it also comes with a pop filter. Now, I would highly recommend this because you get your $10 pop filter with it, and you get your $13 scissor arm with it, and you get a $22 microphone, $25 microphone with it for only $30. So you're saving a good chunk of change there. And that's what I've been using personally, and you've heard it before. It sounds pretty good. It sounds great, and it's a condenser microphone that is XLR. Now, you want XLR because for the big reason of being able to upgrade yourself later. So you can just switch out whatever part you don't like. And this brings us to our next part. Oh yeah, and the NW700 is also a cardioid condenser microphone, which means that the area it picks up is in front of the mic. It's not an omnidirectional or unidirectional, or sorry, no, it is unidirectional. I'm getting my terms mixed up. It's not omnidirectional or bidirectional. It's a cardioid microphone where all the sound is from the front. So it's probably your best bet on your starting microphone, unless you go for like the Behringer XM8500 dynamic. That one's pretty good, $20 also. But this one, the NW700, comes with the pack that has those other things. So I think that's a better choice for starting out, at least, because you get a lot more things with it. Personally, that's just my thought on it. Okay guys, and next, the last thing you need is an XLR cable. An extra XLR cable, because you need, your NW700 is going to come with an XLR to 3.5mm plug. That also has the USB end attached to it, I think. No, it's just a 3.5, because they expect you to plug that into a USB interface or directly into a computer, which is not going to sound good either way, honestly. So what I would suggest is just buy a cheap $6 XLR cable, and it's better than what you would get otherwise. So do that. You can get those on Amazon cheap also. Then the total cost of everything that I've said here, like assuming you've gone with Bandicam, would be about $179. If you decide to cut out Bandicam and go with XSplit instead for the free edition, then you spend about $140. And you get a really high quality setup for a good price. And this is something that you really can't beat. I mean, these are things I have been using personally, and I can tell you they're good, they work, and I enjoy them. I have not been sponsored in any way by anybody. I've just been alone my whole time. And I've just been doing all this out of pocket, and that's about how much I've spent on my setup. Well, a little more because I've used the UMC 202 HD instead of the UMC 22. But this setup is very upgradable. You can change out things as they break. If something goes wrong or is a little glitchy or you don't like how that sounds, you can just swap out that one part. You don't have to change your entire thing. That's why I don't suggest a USB microphone, which is what I started on. I started on the worst USB microphone. I started on the CAD U1, and it sucks. Don't get the CAD U1. It's a good price, but it's not worth it. You're better off just getting the NW700 and plugging it directly into your computer. You'll still get a better sound. Which is pretty sad, because any USB microphone, some of them do sound good, like the Blue Yeti, which is like $120 right now, or the Snowball, which is like $50-$60, but you can't upgrade them. That's the problem. You have to replace the entire microphone and buy it all over again, rather than just replacing the microphone or just replacing the cable or the interface, which really does save you a lot in the long run and gives you much better bang for your buck. So those are my suggestions. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, if you're still watching this, thank you for going all the way through this. If you're watching on YouTube, please press that like button, comment down below, tell me what you think, what you want to hear. If you need any advice, let me know. If you're listening to this on a podcatcher of some sort, or iTunes or something like that, leave me a 5-star rating and comment down below, because it really does help me out. I like to know what's going on with you guys. If you're enjoying the content, if you're not, talk to me, because I enjoy that. And visit my channel if you're listening and you don't know where my YouTube is, it's youtube.com/evilzombie. So go check it out, watch a few videos. Every Friday I'll be posting a podcast episode by 7 a.m. Pacific time, and every Monday and Wednesday I normally post a game video or a tutorial of some sort. So keep watching, stay tuned, have a good one guys, keep being awesome.